with Pat Jones of Three on the Tree, a great band out of, well, are you technically out of Clinton? Where are you guys out of specifically?
I say Fulton, but
sure.
Clinton's kind of our hometown that we play in a lot. But
right.
My bass player and my drummer are both out of Kenosha, Wisconsin.
So you're kind of pulling from wherever you can.
You got to get the talent where they're. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the area, but the upright bass and the rockabilly style drum, it's kind of it's tough because the upright bass is actually a drum in itself.
Sure.
A lot of the original recordings in the 50s, there were no drums. It was just that click you hear. It's
a very percussive instrument.
Yeah, so when you're playing the drums, that could really screw you up when you're trying to kind of counter what he's doing.
Right.
So, yeah, so we're kind of pulling from all over, but let's say Fulton.
Right on. And how you guys have been around the area for quite some time and obviously been doing music forever. I know your dad a little bit, and he's an old rocker. So how long have you been playing music? How did you get started doing rockabilly?
Well, I started when I was 5. I've never had an actual guitar lesson except from my dad, and played by ear, which is not the right way to do it. Take some lessons because now I'm relearning everything to try to play correctly, and it helps you play faster and know where notes are supposed to go and why they go there. But I started when I was 5 and never got serious about a band until my dad had a band called the Garden Plain Orchestra, and it's because they had 7 people in a band. When they got done playing a gig, they owed money to the bar, So they all played well, but none of them really wanted to take the helm to sing. So I started singing for them. It just showed up to one of their practices, and they just said, hey, why don't you sing every song? Mm-hmm. So it was really cool. So that's how I kind of broke into it with the Garden Plain Orchestra. But we've been playing the rockabilly thing now for 6 years with Three on the Tree, and that was just it was kind of a fluke. I was playing an acoustic show. My drummer showed up, and he stood up. We're covering a Stray Cats song, Rock This Town.
Yeah.
And a guy came up and said, hey, could you guys play a rockabilly wedding? It was just the 2 of us. And I said, well, yeah.
Sure.
And so I went down here, right down the musical round, down here in the Quad Cities, picked up a bass guitar, stopped at another band's practice on the way home, and the bass player said, hey, can I play that? I said, well, can you? He goes, yeah, I can play it. I said, well, how would you like to be in a 3-piece band for a wedding? And he said, yeah, well, we got to come up with a name. So actually, Richie Cummer from Fulton, Illinois, he came up with Three on the Tree.
Sure.
And that's where it took off from. That's how it all started.
Do you have to be a car guy to be into rockabilly?
No.
Or does it just help?
It's kind of like I don't want to bash my own scene, but it's kind of like the Harley-Davidson scene, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys show up at these things, they don't own a Harley.
Right.
It's the same way with rockabilly. You don't have to have a car. There's so many people that come just to do the swing dancing and just to dress up. It's kind of like a Trekkie world for greasers.
Sure.
So it's we welcome everybody. It's a good time.
That's awesome. Now you guys have a memorial drag race coming up August. Can you tell us a little bit about how that got started and about the event itself?
Oh, definitely. Mikey Jones was my older brother. He passed away about 3 years ago, and definitely 3.5 years ago. He was a big inspiration. He was hit by a car when he was on his bicycle when he was 7. He lived as a quadriplegic till he was almost 31 years old. And he graduated college with the closest thing to a 4.0 you could get, and he got his degree. He did so much with so little. He was just an inspiration to everybody. And his biggest thing in life that he loved was rock and roll and racing. And his biggest band that he liked was Guns N' Roses, and through all the turmoil. And he loved old cars. He loved rockabilly, and he just loved that scene. So he was at Cordova drag strip every weekend he could be, and especially the World Series. That was one of the big ones. So after he passed, the track got with me and said, hey, we would really like to do a memorial down here for your brother. What do you want to do? I said, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
So now every year in August, it's August 18th and 19th this year, we do it's basically a Run What You Brung hot rod weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your mom's station wagon, you can bring it down there as long as it has seat belts, it passes all the safety requirements, you can race it down the track. You have a valid driver's license, you can go racing. We have a pinup contest. We have bands from all over coming to play. Car show. We have the nostalgia gassers, the old coops that do the wheelies off the line, and it's just going to be a great time.
Right on. That's August 18th and 19th at Cordova Dragway. What's the official name for that?
The Mike Jones Memorial Dragfest. Mikey Jones Memorial Dragfest.
And what other bands are going to be on the Three on the Tree, of course?
Yeah, so I got an in there, so they're going to let me play. But we have some great bands this year. We have Sold Out War. They're making big waves up there in Clinton, Iowa right now. Got a new CD out. We have, of course, us Three in the Tree, and this is all on Friday night. To tap off the night, we have Hillbilly Casino out of Nashville.
Those guys are amazing.
They're insane. I do not know where they get their energy. If you could plug Nick Roulette into the wall, he could probably power the world.
Yeah, he's an amazing front man, and he's one of those guys that it doesn't matter if there's 3 guys in the room watching him or if it's a crowd of 1,000. He's got the same energy. He's going to put on the same show. I don't know how they do that. It's a great band.
I told him, I said, if you have a band, go watch Hillbilly Casino.
It's
because
a how-to.
It's a lesson of how to put on a show. Because just like you said, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, how big the venue is. You got to come with the same energy every time, because those 3 people are going to tell 3 people, and they're going to tell 3 people. Yeah. Next time you go, you're going to be packed. So it's hard to do, because I know you feed off the crowd.
Yeah.
But then, on Saturday, that's just Friday night. On Saturday night, we have the Suicide Shifters. They're down there by outside of Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
More closer to Bloomington. They're coming. They do rockabilly like we do. They do a really good job. They have a lot of originals. Then we have Bob Shirley. He's kind of a Whitey Morgan out of California. Right. He's coming all the way out here to play the show. Big man. He's just big sound. Just a great guy. If you like the outlaw country scene, come and see that. Then we have Lucky Tubb, Ernest Tubb's nephew, coming to play, and he fills the plate. He's played here in the area now for about 3 years. I got him to play Savannah one year, and now he's kind of filtered to some other places in the area. Played Conesville this year. So he's coming out to Cordova. And then after that, it's called Champion Jones. It's my dad, Mike Jones, and John Champion. Now, these guys have played with Merle Haggard, Dale, or Dwight Yoakam, not Dale, but Dale Watson. All these, they were around for the time we call it waterbed country, when everybody was laying in a waterbed listening to this music. So if you like Waylon and Willie and Merle and all that stuff, come and see these guys. And then to top it off for the night it's the Crank Daddies.
Nice.
And the Crank Daddies bring it every time. Yeah. So that's just the music end of things.
Right on. Well, that sounds like a great time. Make sure you get out to Cordova Dragway the 18th and 19th of August. It's going to be an awesome show.